So I got a couple ideas, thoughts about personal professional development. And I got to go back to when I was in faculty, and I had a buddy that throughout every single lecture, he would pull out his digital camera and take some pictures, not only of the class, but he was taking pictures of the actual slides. Actually, I don't know if it was slides or an overhead projector, but he would take those pictures. And what he was doing is he would email them out afterwards to the rest of the class. I mean, this was after some people kind of asking, what are you doing? Why aren't you writing this stuff down? And he's like, well, I would rather exist in the conversation and capture the artifacts and share them out with others afterwards. And I asked him one time after class, after I said, hey, buddy, can you share those slides with me? But I also asked him, I said, how does this help you? What is this helping you with this process? And besides talking about his own personal learning style, he said that he had a friend that was at another faculty in Teachers College, and what he was actually doing is he was swapping slides with that person. And what he found was being able to exist in two different conversations on a similar topic really helped him out. It sort of broadened his perspective. It also got him thinking critically about why certain topics were talked about in different faculties, but not only that, how those topics were talked about in different faculties got him really kind of imagining existing in the diversity of what EDU is outside of, the faculty bubble. I carried this with me well into the first few semesters of my contract, because at those staff meetings, I started to capture some digital information. And when I would do that, I actually had two other friends at two other schools in my board, and we were swapping slides. And it was remarkable that even within the same school board, the professional development that is rolled out to the teachers at staff meetings, there's a template for it. The principals are expected to deliver. But even in those conversations, the way that it was discussed and the way that it was delivered was very, very different. And this, gotta be honest, this kind of got me hooked. So on the topic of personal professional development, for me, it kind of starts with the pursuit or that chase of getting outside of the silo of whatever the conversation you're in is. I think for some people that automatically means going digital, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be digital. Digital is an easy, I think, bridge to that. You could be using Twitter, you could be getting into Instagram. There's Facebook teacher places as well. But one of the things that I've learned, that even though you can share the digital artifacts, which can move so quickly, there's always a context where you want to meet up in real life. So one of the extensions for me as far as pursuing personal professional development is getting face-to-face to the people that are creating these conversations. This could mean doing a Google Hangout Live. You can do Skyping and have conversations that way. It could also include getting out to conferences and meeting people that maybe you've only met digitally. I have several individuals in my PLN in my network that became really, really good friends online. And then when I got a chance to sit down with them, maybe a yearly conference, it was amazing. So the second layer to sharing the digital content, which I love doing for professional and personal development, it really comes down to how hard you're working to make personal connections and building those relationships with individuals. And I will tell you, whatever it is you think you're developing online, though it can be amazing, will turn into something fantastic when you get a chance to do the sit down. There's a whole lot more I could be saying about this, but I think suffice it to say that it's going to get messy because you ask questions that might not have occurred to you. It's going to get disconnected, and you're going to have to work really, really hard. And I've had to work really, really hard to make professional development connections, especially when I'm looking at contexts that I have no investment in. I'm just not there. I'm not in the room. I'm not with the people. So what I love about chasing my own questions in this way is that digital technology has allowed me to exist in other people's spaces. It's also given me an on-ramp to meet people that ultimately I try to meet in real life. There's a whole lot more I could say, but if you want, reach out to me. You can find me at Chris J. Clough at Twitter, or you can find me on chrisjclough.com on my WordPress site. Love chatting with you. Reach out, connect. Look forward to the discussions we could have.